Hello, and here we are with a look at Gunship on the Commodore 64. Now this is a Apache AH-64 flight simulator, which is pretty good for its time, I think. Came out, well, it certainly came out in America in 1986. I can't remember exactly when it came out in the UK. I'll skip that. Right, now when this came out, it came out on disc and cassette. I think it was two sides of disc, and I think it was two cassettes, probably four sides of cassette, I think. And I never owned this one back in the day. I do own the disc version now, which is a lot easier to use. But also, I do have the Spectrum, ZX Spectrum version on cassette for the 48K Spectrum, which is, as you can imagine, is quite an experience to play. But obviously, it's best played on disc, and it's best played on the Commodore 64 as well. By far the best version. Even the Amiga version is not as good as this. Well, we're just going to. I mean, I played a training mission already, but we're just going to look at a training mission because they're quite easy. But you can pick different theatres of operation, pick what sort of difficulty level you're after, or so I'm just playing regular missions here. You can toggle if it's easy, flying, weather, things like that. So let's carry on to the mission. Yeah, on cassette this would take I think about almost half an hour really to actually get to the game itself. But it did come with a rather hefty manual, which was certainly a good read. So that'd keep you busy while you were playing the game. I mean, even on in the emulator, it's still a bit of waiting. I've got the True Drive emulation turned off to speed up even more, but it still can take a while. But here we are at the game. We start obviously at our airbase. We're in our Apache, so let's get started. I've got the control summary in front of me, so hopefully this will jog the memory. I haven't played this for quite a while. And I'm sort of used to playing the Spectrum version, which has slightly different keys, but I'll go to turn the engines on first of all. Now the sound effects aren't great, they're okay, they're functional. Enable the rotor. Now, as you can see, it takes place in it's a sort of wireframe 3D view, but there's a little bit of filled in graphics. You can see the hills are filled in. Let's just take off. If I can remember. And we're off. Now, when I was younger, flight simulators didn't really appeal to me that much. As I've got older, I think I can sort of see some appeal in them. You can see the graphics themselves; they're not that fast to update, but they're okay. I mean, it's acceptable. You're not flying a jet here. You're flying, helicopters are quite slow, so. It's fast enough to sort of represent that. Now you can see the graphics. It's mostly black lines for roads, blue lines for rivers, sort of brown lines. I think it's just to delineate fields and that sort of thing. Try and get a bit of altitude here, just so we can get a better view of things. Yeah, you can see there's a river running left to right. You can see hills and things, but I mean, because it's you can see some telegraph poles. At least that's what I think that they are. Because it's a helicopter simulator, of course, you're not really supposed to fly. You're supposed to fly quite low. I'm not quite sure where the enemy are in this scenario. Now, as a flight simulator, I think that's the base. I think, if I remember. Change our HUDs. Yeah, US base. Now, the centre of the screen, where it says US base, there's a little image of the base itself. I mean, it's supposed to be in a real Apache, it would be a camera pointing at the target, with a zoom lens, so you'd be able to look at the target. Obviously, it's just represented, by the graphics here, but it's good enough. Now, semi-unified vehicles and tanks, they'll be represented on that pretend TV screen. All the other controls are, representing your speeds and your altitudes, forward speed, vertical speeds, that sort of thing. I'm just going to go to the map. Yeah, I don't know if there's any. Yeah, looks like some targets out here. I can't remember what all these symbols mean, but I know they're definitely targets. So we'll fly towards, if I set course for this area, come back to the screen. At the bottom left, there's my INS, which tells me really where I'm going. So if I make the green down arrow and the red up arrow meet in the middle, then I'm basically on the course I've set. Just point down to get a bit more forward speeds. Now, obviously, flight simulators are not for everybody, but this is as flight simulators go, this is it's quite a reasonable depiction, I think, of flying an Apache. There we go, an enemy BMP sighted. Now, if I trying a bit closer, I can probably fire my weapons, which I've got Sidewinder activated, so I don't want that. So I want probably cannon. So I can fire my cannon. Probably best get a bit closer. Now there's various. The aim of the game is really to use the landscape to your advantage. Sort of duck behind hills, pop up, engage targets, pop down. You're not supposed to really fly straight at them like I am. That's just not the way to play the game. Yep, got some. I've got a radio message. Can't remember how to bloody activate that. Oh yes, okay, thank you. Destroyed my secondary target. I mean, I'm really not doing the game justice here. I mean, there's a lot more to it than just flying towards targets. You use the landscape to your advantage, keep low, avoid, if you look at the map, I can't remember what the symbols are, but you avoid anti-aircraft, and surface-to-air missile sites. But it's not 100% accurate. I mean, it's a game. I mean, they've tailored it to be a playable game. And there's different theatres of operation. This is obviously based in America, so it's sort of the green belt of America. But there's other areas that are more urban or desert based. Yeah, I mean, I'm just giving a quick insight here, but. That's Gunship for you. It's a flight sim. Take it or leave it. If you don't like flight sims, this is probably not going to change your mind. But I think it was a good game for the time. I think the graphics are as good as any flight sim, before or after, really. I think Yeah, I think it's still good fun to play. I mean, obviously, if you got a more powerful machine, you're better playing Flight Sims than them. But I don't think the Amiga version was actually that much better. I don't think the graphics were a bit sort of garish on the Amiga, and on the Spectrum as well. So I think the 64 version is still the best. Yeah, I'll give this 8 out of 10 because there's a good game here. It's just obviously you can't just pick it up and play. You've got to really get into it. Study the manual. So yeah, 8 out of 10.